Hello guys, hello. This is the defensive architect, and I am very excited today. Very excited because the Madden 23 is in my PC. Bars. And today in this recording, we are going to go over free agency. We're going to go over free agency, and we are going to have a quick run through with my free agent period. Now, if most of you don't know, or some of you don't know, I do not play the current season. So I don't play with current active players. I have my own reasons for that, and I just prefer to simulate 10 years and have a completely new roster, a completely fresh salary cap, and as far as I know, it's a pretty significant salary cap that you can work with. When you do simulate 10 years. So that's what my shtick is, and that's what I do. So whatever you do is fine with you, but the defensive principles are the same. So nothing changes. There's nothing different about how you approach the field. You just need to have the personnel to do it. And it doesn't matter if it's the current active players or if it's players 10 years from now. So everything's the same, the schemes, everything. So with that said, let's get into it, and let's go ahead and talk about free agency, and let's see what kind of players I was able to pick up during free agency. So let's go, guys. So as I go into my franchise here, let me just say this. In addition to the 10-year thing I mentioned, not only do I like to start with a fresh cap and things of that nature, but I like to deal with new players and fresh players, fresh ratings, and all that kind of stuff. Because to me, it really doesn't matter what kind of players you deal with and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not big on the names, and I'm not big on the big current names and stuff like that. As far as I'm concerned, I'm just building a team. So that's my method, and that's the additional reason why I don't really care for using the teams now, or the current rosters now, I should say. So with that said, as you can see here, I've already done the simulation. So I've already simulated 10 years. Now, I'm not sure if you noticed or not at the top of the menu, but I have about $266 million in salary cap. So that's my salary cap, and that's what I'm able to work with. Now, as you can see also here, I'm going to go over the player negotiations. Now, before I actually get into the free agency, what I like to do is when I'm starting fresh with a new team, and by the way, I'm using the Baltimore Ravens, if you haven't noticed. So that's my new team. In the Madden 22, I was using the Jets. That was my number one team. And I was also using the 49ers, as well as the Giants and the Panthers. But I was, the vast majority of the time, I was using the Jets. So also this year, I'm going to go over the 3-4 defense. So I'm going to use the 3-4 defensive scheme. So I have schemes ready for that already, and things of that nature. Now on a different video, I will go over what kind of scheme I am running, and I will display my playbook, and I will show you and go over in detail exactly what I'm doing with this playbook. But I digress. Now, right now I'm going over my defense. I'm trying to see what I'm working with. I'm trying to see, who I have all on this roster, and who is a pretty legitimate, who's pretty legitimate at their position. So that's what I'm going over right now. I'm not interested in players under, I would say, at least 70. Now 75 is my usually like my lowest that I go for, but if I have to go lower than that, I don't go any lower than 70. 70 seems to be a pretty good spot for players and things of that nature. But anybody lower than that, I totally just disregard them. I don't necessarily have that much of an interest of building those players, and it takes a few years for those players to develop. So I'm not going to deal with those guys because they're kind of trash. So but this particular guy, Will Ferguson, he's a 93. He's probably the best corner in the game, and he so happened to be on my team. And I should also mention that one of the new features of this game is the offers the offer tab that you saw there at the top, where it says custom offer. It says custom offer now, but you basically can honor the request of the player. So you can go by team, you can go by the team fit, or you can customize the offer, or you can go by the preferred offer that the player prefers to have as a contract for a contract. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to franchise tag this player. Okay, I just want to lock him in so I can negotiate his contract later, because the reason why I did that was because for whatever reason, I'm not sure why my offer wasn't going through, but I gave him a pretty good offer, or a great offer actually. But there was some kind of mishap there, so I just went on ahead and franchise tagged him so that I could kind of get that situated. So I'm trying to get my kicker in order. So I signed him up. Now I'm going to concentrate on the linebackers. So I have this Joe Winston guy. He's an 82. So I'm going to go with the player friendly offer, and I'm going to add a little bit more to his salary. Now what I like to do is, and one of the reasons why I do like a high salary cap is because I tend to overpay some of these players, and I overpay for a reason, because if you try to pay these players based on the market, based on what your inability to make these adjustments and such, or if you're just offering them stuff to be cheap, they're going to deny the offer. Okay, so it's best to just overpay, even by a couple of $1 million. You don't have to overpay by like 10 million. It doesn't have to be that high, just maybe $1 or $2 million above the normal scale, and you'll be fine. Now, as you saw there, or as you can see now here, my salary cap is still over 200 million, so I still have a lot of cap room left for signing good players. So right now we're in day 1 of free agency, and we're going to go ahead and go into the free agent pool, and we're going to see what kind of guys are available here this season, or for next season rather. So let's go ahead and get into this now. All right, so there, as you can see, the platform has changed. There has been a change in the platform. So it was kind of side by side. I think the last 3 Maddens or so, it was like side by side. You had like the list of players on one box, and you had the information on the second box, so it was like left to right. But now it's kind of different. And you see the tabs up there where it has all players, available, targeted, mine signings, and signed. Now, it took me a while to kind of get used to this new format, because I was looking for the remaining cap, which is like in the middle there, the bottom center. So it took me a while to kind of look for that stuff and kind of navigate through this. Also, what I found out the hard way in this game is, as you're signing players, there's only a limited amount of players you can sign on a given day or a given period, whatever. I guess stage 1, for each stage, we'll just put it that way, there's a limited amount of players that you can send offers to at one time. Now, I don't know if this has always been on Madden, because the other Maddens that I've played, I pretty much was able to grab as many players as I wanted to, with my big salary cap that I have. So in this game, you have a limited amount of offers you can make to um, to a number of players. So I'm not sure if it's like 10 players at a time. I think it's 10 players, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody, comment below and let me know what what the max is. And if there's no max and I'm just tripping, tell me that too. Because, I mean, as I am building my team and as I am signing players, after a while, it wasn't allowing me to sign any more players. And this was after I sent a number of offers out. So just let me know if I'm tripping, or if that's a thing. But anyway, I'm at the current moment in time, I'm concentrating on signing my defensive lineman, and yeah, so I'm trying to sign the best three defensive linemen that I can get, because it's pretty much going to be a three-man look as far as defensive linemen, and it's going to be four linebackers. And I know I'm being like, obvious. I'm being Captain Obvious with that, but I just have to point that out, because you need to make sure that when you are building your team and building your defense as an architect, you need to be able to keep certain things in mind about your defense. So, for example, if you're going to be defensive back heavy, hey, maybe it's not a priority for you to have great linebackers. Okay, maybe that's not a priority, but your priority is in the backfield. So you are, trying to get the best defensive backs you can get, the best corners you can get, the best safeties, free safety and strong safeties. So, you need to understand where you're tailoring your scheme around. However, you need to have a really, really good handle on your scheme, period. You need to have a good handle on your scheme. So, for example, I'm looking for players right now. I'm looking for the highest rated players on all positions defensive positions that I can get. Okay, so that's my thing, because I run a pretty balanced defense. I don't blitz that much, or that often. I blitz when I need to, just to kind of mix things up. I'll blitz, but the linebackers don't have to be extra fast and all this kind of stuff. They just need to be smart. So with that said, I just try to find the highest rated players I can get. Now right here, this is where I kind of started getting a little fuzzy again, because I kept forgetting. You can see me kind of just going through all of the tabs there, trying to find the position, and I'm trying to figure out who I signed and who I didn't sign. But the thing about Madden and the free agency is the X's are people who have been signed by someone, and that includes your team. So, I was so I was getting a little bit flustered, just slightly, with this whole thing, because I was trying to figure out the system here. And at the top there with the tabs, you see my signings and signed. I looked at my signings and figured out that no one signed any of my contract offers. And then I went to signed, and I think I was getting a little bit confused again, because I'm thinking like, okay, are these players with me, or are they with? So after a while, and then you can also see the logo behind the picture, of course, who they signed with and all that crap. But I was just kind of trying to test things out and trying to get my players at the same time, but really trying to figure out how I can maximize on finding players, on good players, and getting them signed, because it really doesn't matter the level of interest they have in your team, as long as you have a good contract offer or a great one. They're going to sign with you. So it does. So the interest doesn't even matter. So you can get the best players you can get, that you can find, and as long as they are available, and as long as you give them some good money, they're going to come over and play with you, play with your team. So right now I am signing Patrick Surtain the second, and trying to give him a good offer there. I believe there's like um, I believe there's like some form of scale. Oh, no, it's just an offer breakdown. Yeah, I was looking at the offer breakdown. I thought that was like market value numbers, but yeah, it's just what you are paying them and what kind of salary cap hit you're going to get as you sign this guy. Now, as you see there on in the top center where it says top offers, I mean, I'm gonna tell you now. Like at first, I wasn't even gonna sign this guy. First of all, he's 33 years old, but he's an 87 overall. So, he's a vet on his way out. I figure, I might as well just get him for 2 years, and and really just cover that position with a solid player. But you see all those teams with those offers. I mean, I had a hard time like trying to find, trying to figure out like what kind of offer do I need to give this guy for him to sign with us. For us to really, be at top position for this guy. So I just went on ahead and just offered him some crazy money, for him to join our team. He's a superstar player, so I definitely cannot let go of a superstar player. I can't let this guy just go somewhere else. So finally, we give him a good offer, and our offer tops all other offers. So that's all I wanted. That's all I wanted in the first place, and I believe we signed him after that. So yeah, I think we signed him, but we're still looking for other players. Now, as I'm scrolling down, I'm looking at their age. I'm looking at the rating and their age. And that's usually how I sign guys. I look at their rating and I look at their age. So when I see that they're a nice, player at around 25, between 25 and 30 years old, maybe an 80 overall, 81, 85, that's good for me. That I'm really good with that, because it's giving me enough time, with their age, it's giving me enough time to develop them in my system, in my scheme. So as I'm looking at these guys, I'm looking at players between the ages of 25 and 30 years old, because usually around that age, if they're younger and they have superstar promise, or they have star power and star promise, then I'll sign the younger players too. But I'm really looking at that 25 to 30 year range. If they're a little older than that, they have to have a high rating like Patrick Surtain. I mean, that they have to have a high rating. If they don't have a high rating, it's not even worth signing them. Okay, and especially if they're only like at 80, 82, they're 34 years old, they're barely at an 80. There's better players at even if they're slightly lower in rating, I should say. It just means that they have room for development, and that's what you want to keep in mind when you are signing your players. When you're signing players, you want to look at their age and their rating. If it's a scheme fit, if you have a very, very, very specific scheme that you're running, hey, if they have a scheme fit, no matter how old they are, if they fit in that scheme, then then you just need to sign them. Even if it is a low rating, you need to sign them because they need to develop under your scheme, and you get more. I believe you get more skill points with that player if they perform under your scheme. If they make plays within your scheme and things of that nature. So that helps them develop a bit faster. So right now we're at stage 3, I believe, and yeah. So this was just, I don't know what that was, the 5th year thing. I just declined it. I'm pretty sure it was some player that wasn't really that good. So I just went on ahead and denied it because I just need to keep my cap room open. So here, I'm going to look at, who signed with us, who actually signed these contracts, and pretty much everybody that I went after signed with us. So we're definitely going to have a really, really good. We're really going to have a really, really good defensive back packages. So I'm going to be able to run, some quarter schemes, run some dime 1-2-4, 1-3, or what is it, the 1-2-4 schemes and all that kind of stuff. The basically basically the schemes with a lot of linebackers and a lot of defensive backs. So I should say formations and alignment. So I'm going to be able to have a really wide open scheme, and have a really good range of plays that I'll be able to run with these defensive backs. Okay, so I'm really excited about those signings. I'm really excited about Patrick Surtain and all the other guys coming to Baltimore. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at some offensive players. Okay, I pretty much have everything locked up on defense. So now I'm going to look for a good quarterback. I definitely need a good running back because that guy was only a 62. I got a lot of wide receivers, but I need a better receiver core, and I need at least 2 tight ends. My offensive schemes are very simple because I manage clock and I manage the game with the offense, and I have to do that because of the amount of money that I am spending on the defensive side of the ball. So that means that I can only sign maybe 3 or 4 skill position players, like really, really good skill position players on offense. So I may be able to afford a quarterback, which I did sign there. I signed this Cody Olsen guy. He's just some guy because I simulated 10 years later. So he's an 86 overall, so he's a pretty good player. And he's, 28 years old. So, he's a pretty good player, pretty young. So I can lock him up for at least 3 years and do whatever we're going to do with him at that time. Now, right now, I'm trying to give the best offer that I can get for this guy. And that's the biggest thing with this particular game now. It's like the free agent money is ridiculous. Like it's going to take quite a bit to sign these players. It wasn't really like that on the other Maddens, but now it's definitely like that. And you're gonna have to really give some significant money to really lock up these players, especially ones that have very high ratings, 85 and above. So you're really going to have to give up a lot of money. I think that's going to be enough to sign him. Now I'm trying to find a running back. Now with running backs, all my running backs develop very quickly because I run a lot of run plays. And, so I can sign a guy that's 80. I can even sign a guy that's like 77, 76, 75. I could sign a guy between 75 and 80 and have a really good season with this guy. And, this particular player win the rushing title and all kinds of stuff because I run the ball a lot. So now I'm trying to sign a couple of wide receivers. So I'm trying to get receivers who are at around, now I like guys who are at around 80, between 80 and 82, and at a good age at the same time. So these 2 particular guys, I think they're between 27 and 28 years old or what have you. So I'm signing some pretty young guys, and I am able to lock them in. So yeah, those guys I got locked in pretty much. Now I'm going to look for a tight end. Because again, on offense, this is not an offensive channel. Okay, so I don't show anything on offense. I show all defense because we're defensive architects. We're building defenses. But when my offense, I run the ball. I do a lot of bootlegs. I do a lot, I send a lot of the quarterbacks to the outside. I do a lot of cross routes. I do a lot of ends and all sorts of stuff. But I run the ball a lot, So this year, though, with this team, I'm going to run the single back offense, and I can read the defense pretty well with the single back offense, especially when they roll the safeties down to the line of scrimmage, because I'm running the ball so much. Then I can throw things over the top and get it to my guys on the outside. I'm pretty excited about what's to come with this team, with this Ravens team, and I think we're going to do some really good things here. So now we're going to see if these guys signed with me, and yep, they did. So Cody Olsen is with me. That running back is with me. The two wide receivers and the two tight ends are with me. So yeah, I got my team locked up. I still got some cap left. I think I wasn't able to sign a middle linebacker. I need a middle linebacker. I think I need two middle linebackers. I have one, but I think I need to sign no, actually I don't need to sign another one. I think I have two middle linebackers already signed with us. But I have $19 million of salary cap room, so I'm pretty excited about that. I'm really happy with the team I have right now. This is really looking good. So I am very excited about getting the season underway, getting some content to you guys, and once again, like I said before, I'm running the cover 4 scheme with the 3-4 defense. So that's going to be exciting too, because what I'm going to do with the cover 4 is show that look so that I can force teams to run against us. Now, a lot of times that backfires. I mean, it really does, especially if you're lined up wrong. But we are going to show that so we can control when they run and when we want them to do whatever we want them to do. So the cover 4 scheme is a very, very balanced scheme, because you can do all kinds of stuff with cover 4. You can audible to a cover 3. You can audible to a blitz. You can audible to cover 1. You can audible to cover 2. You can audible to cover 6. Invert cover 2. Invert cover 6. There's a lot of stuff you can do with that. Okay, you can run the cover 2 man to man, because they're going to try to run a lot of plays side to side, from sideline to sideline, because they won't be able to run anything over the seams. So that's why I'm excited about this, and that's why I'm excited about this upcoming season with this 3-4 scheme. So yeah, anyway, this is my team. I built my defense, and I'm ready to start the season. And on the next video, we are going to open up the season and with this roster, and we're going to see how exciting this roster and how dynamic this roster is going to be this season. So thanks for watching, guys. This is the Defensive Architect signing out. You guys have a great day. See you in the next video.